Hello, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we are going to be answering the question, how would I judge Drag Race Philippines Season 2? I know this season had a controversial winner, but I am going to judge her only based of how well she did on the season. Also, I've heard that someone said online this season had more controversial contestants, but I have no idea who they were referring to, so if you know, please let me know in the comments. Now, let's get into the judging. So, it was the split premiere, where the queens had to write a verse and perform to the song called Buksh. In the first group we have Matilda, Jade, Kat, Tiny, Nicole, and Arizona. Both groups had the exact same song, which in my opinion was great, since it was really fair. I think Group 1 did a better job overall, and if the groups were competing against each other, the first group would for sure be called safe. But anyways, I changed 2 placements this episode. Matilda was originally low, which I don't agree with because she did such a good job. I would say all of them did, and that is why I think no one should be low here. Arizona Brandy was originally declared as the winner of the challenge, but I gave the win to Miss Jade So instead of Arizona, since both of their verses were absolutely amazing. But Jade's runway look was definitely better than Arizona's. So yeah, Miss Jade So is gonna win. Arizona, Kat, and Matilda are gonna be high, which leaves Nicole and Tiny in the bottom too. Listen, as I said earlier, they all did good. I even think that Nicole's verse was fine, and if she was on the other group, maybe she would survive. As for Tiny, I absolutely love her verse, but I do agree with her being in the bottom, since she did not know the choreography very well, plus her runway look was also not the best. So Tiny and Nicole are going to be lip-syncing to Here We Go. Tiny Deluxe ended up winning the lip-sync, which I do agree with, which means she gets to stay, and we have to say goodbye to Nicole. Now it's time for the second split premiere, in which I did not change a single placement. I think the judging was pretty fair. Bernie absolutely killed this challenge, and her runway look was incredible, so her winning here makes total sense. Ovi and Didi were in the top, and I still kept them there. Ovi was clearly second best, but Didi also did well. As for the bottoms, when they were asked the question about who should go home tonight and why, all of them said Verushka, which was a bit surprising to me. However, I later found out that she did something during the performance that she didn't tell the other queens she was gonna do. Now, if it was really dangerous, she should have been in the bottom because of that, but she wasn't. To be honest with you, I can't remember what she did and I have no idea if it was really dangerous, and I decided to put her low, as she was originally. Her verse was fine, and I do think she did better than Hannah and Astrid. Hannah Beshi unfortunately did the worst. She started off pretty good, but then it just wasn't it. I did not enjoy her verse unfortunately. As for Astrid, she started off really strong. First half of her verse was so catchy and cool, but then it's just too much words, and she also kinda struggled with the choreography. Her runway look was fine. Listen, it was really heartbreaking to see her break down on the main stage. Honestly, I did not see her going home as soon as she did. I thought she was gonna go further, especially because her entrance look was maybe even the strongest out of all of them. But yeah, I do agree with her being in the bottom, and I also do agree with Hannah Beshi winning the lip sync, and that means Astrid Mercury is still gonna go home here. It was really cool that literally no one said her name, by the way. Now, let's move on to episode 3, the design challenge. So, they were split into pairs, and had to design a look inspired by events and holidays celebrated in the Philippines. One queen from each pair is gonna end up in the top, the other one in the bottom. So now I'm gonna go through each pair and say who in my opinion wore it better. Between Didi Marie Holiday and Captivating Kat, I think Didi did slightly better, so she is gonna place high. Between Matilda and Ovi, Matilda definitely did better, so she is also gonna place high. Between Verushka and Arizona, I do agree that Verushka's look was stronger, so she is also in the top. Between Hannah and Tiny, definitely Hannah's look was better, and between Bernie and Jade, Jade's look was stronger. That means in the top we have Didi, Matilda, Verushka, Hannah, and Jade. I decided to give the win to Miss Jade So. Originally, Verushka won this challenge, which was really weird because in my opinion it was between Miss Jade So and Hannah Beshi. As for the bottoms, I kept Bernie and Cat Cat safe, since both of them did good, and that leaves Arizona Brandy, Tiny Deluxe, and Ovi in the bottom three. Originally, Ovi was called safe, and this was a tough episode for her, since the guest judge made an unnecessary comment, saying her look was trash. I don't think her look was trash, but I do think that she should have been in the bottom two. Arizona didn't do that bad. I think her look was actually pretty cool, and I decided to put her low. So, Tiny and Ovi are going to be lip-syncing for their lives. Originally, Arizona absolutely ate that lip-sync up, but now the question is, would Ovi do better than Tiny? Although earlier in the episode Ovi had a breakdown, I still think she would be able to win the lip-sync, so I decided to keep her, which means we have to say goodbye to Tiny Deluxe. On episode 4, the main challenge was the Snatch game, and as you can see, I changed some things in the bottom half. But first, let's discuss the tops. Cat Cat, Arizona, and Ovi were definitely the biggest standouts, so them being in the top was obviously correct. Captivating Cat Cat ended up winning the challenge, which I do agree with. She did really good. I'm not Filipino, so I did not know many references, but she still made me laugh the most, plus her runway look was also the strongest out of the three. I also do agree with Didi, Verushka, and Matilda being in the bottom three, because all of them really flopped. Originally, only Verushka levels got eliminated this episode, but I decided to do a double elimination. Matilda destroyed both of them in that lip sync, and I don't think Didi deserved to stay, since her performance was not good and kinda messy. That means we have to say goodbye to Verushka levels and Didi Marie Holiday, and we will be moving on to the Rusical. The queen who won this challenge originally was Didi, but since she is not here anymore, I decided to give the win to Ovi. I think she did amazing this episode, even better than Cat Cat and Bernie, who are also in the top. Arizona Brandy and Hannah Beshi were originally safe, but I decided to put Arizona low, since I don't think she did that good. Arizona and Matilda had, in my opinion, the worst possible roles, which didn't work in their favor. I agree with Miss Jade, and Matilda being in the bottom two, so I did not change that. Both of them did good in the lip sync. However, Jade definitely outperformed Matilda, so she gets to stay, and we have to say goodbye to Matilda. I was really sad to see her go because she was one of my favorite queens this season, but so was Jade. We have to say goodbye to Matilda, and we will be moving on to the next episode, which was the acting challenge. I know y'all are going to be upset, but let's start with the tops. Originally, Cat Cat won, but I don't think she should have. Ovi absolutely killed this challenge, and it was really weird they called her safe. In my opinion, she was hands down the best, and deserved to win. Captivating Cat Cat and Hannah Beshi also did great, so I decided to put them in the top. I kept Bernie safe since I think she did slightly worse than Hannah, Cat Cat, and Ovi, but definitely not bad enough to be low. In this scenario, we have only 6 queens left, so that means Arizona Brandy and Miss Jade are in the bottom two. I did not really enjoy any of their performances in the challenge, so I think them being in the bottom is totally fair. Now listen, originally Jade lip-synced against Didi and won rightfully so, because Didi totally flopped. But to be fair, Jade also did not do great. She definitely did better than Didi, but I don't see her beating Arizona, who is one of the strongest lip-syncers from the cast. I absolutely love Jade, and she definitely was the main character of the season. However, I cannot justify her staying over Arizona. I really hope that she will be back for Global All-Stars or Versus the World, and I'm happy she originally made it to the finale, but here she is going to finish at 6th place. And now it's time for the makeover. I'm gonna be honest with you, I absolutely hate makeover challenges, and I think they should never have eliminations. Luckily, no one went home this episode, and obviously, it's not gonna change. I agree with Ovi and Bernie being in the top 2 since they did the best, so it makes sense. Originally, all the other queens were high for this challenge. However, I decided to put only one of them high, and I chose Hannah Beshi, since she definitely did a better job than Arizona and Cat Cat. Bernie and Ovi are going to be lip-syncing for the win, and Bernie is still going to win the challenge. It was very well deserved. Both of them did good performing to the song, but I agree with Bernie taking the win. Now, let's move on to the commercials. Well, Ovi won the challenge, which was obviously fair and very well deserved. What can I say, she killed it. It was also a strong night for Hannah Beshi, so she is going to be high, as she was originally. Honestly, Arizona Brandy did pretty fine, and definitely better than Cat and Bernie, so I decided to put her low. I have no idea why Bernie's commercial was very short, but it definitely did not work in her favor. So, Bernie and Cat are going to be lip-syncing for their lives, and obviously no one is going to go home here.
It was hands down the double shanty.
They're both absolutely destroyed that lip-sync, and it was very heartwarming and beautiful. That means we still have 5 queens left, and it's time for the last challenge before the finale. They had to star and perform in a music video for RuPaul's song, Main Event. Originally, Jade won this challenge. However, since she is not here anymore, I decided to give the win to Bernie. It was close between her and Cat, so I used the runways as a tiebreaker, and I think Bernie's runway was stronger than Cat's. Originally, all Ovi, Hannah, and Arizona ended up in the bottom 3, since they had to do a double elimination, but since it's not necessary now, I decided to move one of them up to low. I chose Ovi to be low because I think she did pretty good in the challenge, and that leaves Arizona Brandy and Hannah Beshi in the bottom 2. Arizona Brandy ended up winning the lip sync originally, which I do agree with, so she is the last queen to advance to the grand finale, and unfortunately we have to say goodbye to Hannah Beshi. It really sucks, since she was my 2nd or 3rd favorite queen from the season, but at least she won Miss Congeniality. So originally, it was a lip-sync smackdown for the crown, however I decided not to do that this time. I'm gonna cut 2 queens, and the top 2 queens of the season will battle it out in the lip-sync for the crown. The queens I decided to cut are Arizona Brandy and Captivating Cat. On the original outcome they were in the top 2, but now it's not gonna be the case. Arizona Brandy is a fierce lip-syncer and a really good drag queen, however her track record is not good enough for her to be a part of the final lip-sync. As for Cat, her track record is slightly worse than originally, but she still did good this season. I don't think they were pushing her, and I think all her challenge wins were deserved. To be honest with you, I really liked her on the season. I completely do not support some things she's done outside of the show, but in the season she was really cool in my opinion. Anyways, the top 2 queens are Bernie and Ovi, and it is time to crown the winner of the season. The winner of Drag Race Philippines Season 2 is Bernie. Honestly, I think she was the one they wanted to crown, but they couldn't justify her staying over Cat after the reveal didn't go as planned. I don't know if that would be the case here as well, since we did not see any of them performing to the final song, but if everything went according to plan, I think Bernie would be the winner. Congratulations to Bernie. So, did you enjoy watching Drag Race Philippines Season 2? And who are you rooting for? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.